Hi, TikTok. I trust you guys are good. Welcome one, welcome all. Welcome one, welcome all. We are back again. Oh my god. Thank you for joining me once again this week. What is happening, guys?
Okay.
What was that?
That's me.
What are you doing?
I'm eating the light.
You're eating the light. Good. Okay.
Brilliant of lights.
I'm showing to my story. Teacher's taking you.
Yes. Take her.
Okay, let's do this. Hi everybody, welcome one, welcome all. I trust you guys are good. We are back again to our weekly You Got This Dearest Mommy sessions, whereby we mentor the feminine vessel. We're mentoring women. And also if you're a man or, excuse me, a child, or you're just anybody outside of being a woman, it's fine, because here we're mentoring everybody regardless of age, gender, ethnicity, and all that, right? So this is a space for everybody. As long as you have a belly button, as long as you're born of a woman, this is your space, okay? Because you mentor a woman, you've mentored society. Please be careful, Tishi, you're jumping too high. And also, who's going to fix that now? Because you see now it's a mess. So I'm supposed to fix it. As I've said, I'm not I'm not doing great. I'm not 100, but then the show must go on. That's why I'm here today. Otherwise, I wanted to postpone it to tomorrow, but then I was like, hey, what if tomorrow I'm feeling worse? It's not like I'm sick, that I'm having any physical illness. I'm just feeling shitty. It's one of those days whereby your soul, your spirit, your essence, whatever you choose to call it, is like, not again. Guys, Yoda, please come to the side, because it's dangerous that side. Okay, so let's do this, guys. As usual, we're doing these weekly sessions whereby we mentor the feminine, the divine feminine vessel, which is a woman, and everybody around it. There is a quote that goes, the half of the world is filled with women, and the other half is their children. So basically the world is filled with women and their children, right? It is true if you understand it in a stance of equality, not in a stance of sexism, right? So you mentor or you hold or you support a woman, then you support guys, then you've supported the whole of society. By the way, it's the weekend whereby the person who's helping me is not there, so it's gonna be one of those days. It's fine. Okay. So come on, pumpkin, put yourself together. Oh my god, today I'm really failing. I'm failing to focus, but then it's fine. I can do it. Okay, I can do it. The show must go on. So yes, Echich, do you want me to stand up from here? You said you're sleeping there. Please sleep. Yod, you said you want to sleep. Sleep. Oh, sorry, Zamachubi. I think it's a way of what you call distracting myself. Today I'm not feeling 100, guys. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. I may be doing these gestures and these things that may be. Forgive me in advance. Thank you, Your Majesty, for the correction, though. Where was I? Oh, yes. I was saying that you mentor a woman, then you've mentored the whole of society. So that's the aim of this thing. And these sessions, it's a diary that goes hand in hand with the book. If you're interested in getting them, just WhatsApp the number on your screen and then we'll take it from there, right? The diary prompts you to take down your emotions, to plan ahead, to plan in bite sizes, right? Plan for the hour, for the day, for the week, for the month, for the year, right? Because I know in motherhood you cannot take down all of your feelings or emotions at once. Hell, sometimes you can't even scan what you're feeling in the current moment, right? So this diary prompts you to take from there's a bag. JJ, please come and take him down. Pella, you cannot leave and then you cannot just leave and leave him here. What am I gonna do? Stand there and take care of him.
I was going to check something.
Sorry guys, today I think it's gonna be one of the worst sessions we've ever had. Like in the past 30 weeks, this would be the worst one. So please brace yourself and forgive me in advance. But what's important is what I'm going to say, right? Not what is happening. Please help. It's never been this hectic since I started this initiative. What is happening? Yep. Anyways, firstly, if you're interested in owning these earrings, you want to buy yourself a pair or two or more, you want to buy them in bulk for retail, buy them at wholesale price for retail, or you want to learn how to make them, WhatsApp the number on your screen and we'll take it from there, right? Okay, so today we're on week 30 and discussing literacy and language development. Please don't come here, mommy. I'm live, you see? Don't come here. Stand over there. You can stand over there. Okay, so firstly, let's define, right? Oh, I forgot to explain the earrings. Oh, as I've said, this is going to be the worst session ever. So yes, these are the July edition. Obviously, I make these earrings. This is a coin, this is a book, and this is the map of Eswatini, right? So, yes, I'm working. Yes, so a coin, a book, and the map of Eswatini. So in Eswatini, in ancient times, we used to have a king, right? This king was called King Somhlolo, and he had a vision. Yes, baby. And he had a vision, right? He said that the white people will come into our land and they will give us a coin and a book. So we should choose between the coin and the book. However, he warned us to choose the book instead and forfeit the coin, right? So most people interpret this the wrong way. They believe that he was saying that we shouldn't choose money and we should choose a Bible. Yes, baby. Shh, okay. And we should choose a Bible. However, what he meant was, let us not chase money. Instead, let us chase wisdom, right? So you get knowledge from a book. And once you practice the knowledge and integrate it, it becomes wisdom. And once you get wisdom in this realm, any other thing will chase you. Money, health, any form of abundance will chase you, because any resource there is loves wisdom, right? So you chase knowledge and integrate it into wisdom, then every other thing out there will follow you. That's how it's one of the laws that, please don't come here, mommy. As I'm saying, please don't come here, please. No, don't come here. Go up the bed with Chich. Right, so that's what he actually meant. However, it was then turned around to suit a certain movement, a certain, yeah, you know what I mean, right? So yes, he meant that chase knowledge, and then chase knowledge, integrate it into wisdom, and go and jump on the bed with Chich, and every other thing will chase you if you have wisdom, right? So yes, anyways, today we are on week 30 and we are talking literacy and language development. Okay, so what is literacy? Okay, literacy is the ability to read, write, and communicate effectively. Okay, so what is language development? Language development is the growth of vocabulary, grammar, and comprehension. So those are things we're going to talk about today: literacy and language development. So what's the history? What are we talking about when we're talking about literacy and language development, right? Yes, we are talking about the way how a person communicates with the external environment and also the internal environment even, right? And also language development, how they cultivate that. But what's the history? What did we do it in the past? How did we get to even wanting to cultivate this skill? Okay, so yes, oral traditions were the earliest form of language, teaching through stories, songs, and proverbs, right? So oral communication through the word of mouth, verbal communication, has always been cultivated way since the beginning of time, because it's the only way you can relay your emotions, you can communicate or warn somebody or direct other people, mentor, right? So it's one of the most primitive ways of survival. Gigi, Yoda, come this side. What am I saying?
Jump.
Yes, but come this side.
Jump in the bed.
Anyways, I have to put myself together. Oh my, this would be the hardest week of them all. Gigi, please be careful.
Okay.
Okay, so as I was saying that verbal communication is one of the most primitive ways of survival. It's one of the first ways in how human beings especially survive. In fact, in how nature survives. It survives through the word of mouth, through sounds. Even a baby, if they're hungry, they communicate through crying. If they want something, they cry. So verbally, sound is the first way of communicating, right? So historically, this was then cultivated and made. Can you go and play with toys in the sitting room? Go and play with your toys. Is that okay? Yes. I'll bring more toys when you're done, and we're going to buy more toys tomorrow. Please go and play with the toys. And
Cake.
yes, go and bake cake with Chich. Go, Chich, go and bake with Yod in the sitting room. It's fine. Just play pretend. There's a stove there. There's a trolley. Just go and do whatever you want. You can do with it. You will buy a stove tomorrow. Go and bake. Go and bake in the sitting room. Please go and bake in the sitting room. Take Yoda with you. Up to you. You just play pretend. It's fine. Please go. Hi everybody. Just play. It's okay. Just play pretend. Go with Chich. Come down, Chich, and help Yoda down. Sorry, Sham guys. I'm a bit off all over the place today. Help him down. I don't have help. I'm alone. It's okay. So okay, as I've said when I began the live, that today it's one of those days whereby my essence was like, I don't want to be here today, right? But I was like, you know what, let me just do it tomorrow, because maybe tomorrow I'll be feeling a bit, right, motivated. But I was like, what if I'm waking up and I'm even worse? So I was like, you know what, let me just do it today. Enforce matters, right? On top of that, the person who's helping me is taking her off day today. It's her off weekend, so I'm alone with the kids. It's just me and the kids right now, and so yeah, it's a lot today. So I know that you guys will bear with me, okay? So let's try to push. So yes. Back in the day, traditionally, in the ancient days, they cultivated the oral communication through stories, through proverbs, through songs, right? Fairy tales would sit around the fire, and then they will start telling these stories. And yes, it was part of entertainment, but more often than not, the main reason why this was done was to cultivate cognitive and motor skills, right? And you cultivate those things, obviously, then your vocabulary will skyrocket, right? So it was more of cultivating literacy and language development more than entertainment. Okay, so that's what they did back in the day. That's how language was taught back in the day. So it's an ancient thing. Language is not a today thing. It has been cultivated and evolved over the years until today, whereby it feels like second nature. However, it's got roots, ancient roots. Okay, so why does it matter? Why does language and literacy matter? Literacy is the gateway to all learning. Children who master phonics and language early decode words confidently, comprehend texts better, and develop stronger academic life skills. They are also excellent communicators, right? So yes, you see that having a skill of language and literacy doesn't only help you understand your internal self, understand who you are, it also helps you communicate who you are into the external world, and also thrive and also survive in the external world, because you can communicate your internal environment, right? And now we live in a world of, it's the industrial age. In fact, we're going out of the industrial age, but we are still in the midst of the industrial age. It helps you as you are going through school, right? It helps you excel academically because it's something that was reinforced in the early stages of your life, right? So yes, now let's get into the core components of literacy and language. So what I want to say is, there is no age whereby you should start that, okay, now let me instill language. No, there is no age that you can say this is the rightful age. In fact, what I normally advise parents, mostly women, is to speak to their children while they are still in the womb. Once you just discover that you are pregnant, whether your child is a week old or a day old, whenever you discovered your pregnancy, start communicating with your child. Whatever you're seeing, oh, you know, I'm looking at a red car. I know it sounds dilulu, right? Right, oh my God, what is this girl talking about? And also, by the way, there's another disclaimer. Whatever I am speaking here, I'm not speaking it out of theory. I'm a mother of two, a 7-year-old and a 2.5-year-old. So I'm speaking from experience. It's things I do. And also, I also mention whenever it's something I am also in the process of learning, especially some of the, in fact, 90% of today's topic are things I never practiced. I never do. And I don't think I will ever do, because as you can see right now, I'm one person who cannot multitask, right? I'm really not good at being a present mom when I'm focusing on other things, right? And I'm not really good at other things when I'm focusing on being a mom, right? So I'm not really good at multitasking. Yes, I can do it, but then I become a jack of all trades and master of none. Just know that once I start multitasking, all of these things will get bare minimum, right? So it's something I don't want to do, right? So I'm one person who never, yes, I spoke with my kids, both of them, while they were serving their pregnancy. Right, while they were still in the womb. So I used to speak with them mostly just so that they can understand me. I didn't even know that I was strengthening their literacy and language development. That was not the main reason. However, today as I was preparing this lesson, I was like, oh, maybe that's why they speak earlier, right? Because I cultivate this thing at an early age. Maybe that's why. So that's what I thought of. However, for me, the reason why I talk to them, why I listen to music with them, not the kind of music that's destructive, but obviously I try these high vibrational music. That's what most people call it. I call it good music, right? So I listen music with them. I speak with them mostly because that they can understand who I am. And then when they come here, they know who mommy is, they know my voice, they know my likes, they know my dislikes, right? That was the main reason why. But then I'm glad it also served the literacy and language development. But guys, another disclaimer, whatever I'm going to be talking about today here, I only practiced 10% of it. And 90% of the 10% was practiced unconsciously. I was just doing something else and then I achieved it by mistake, right? So today's session really, I was learning myself as I was preparing it. So don't take this, what I'm saying today, as if it's something I'm practicing or something I've experienced. No, today I'm speaking purely from theory. So take it or leave it. However, for me, 90% of the lesson I prepared today, I'm not taking it. I'm sorry to say, because I know myself, I know I cannot do it. But if you can, kudos to you. Okay, so now let's get to the core components. Okay, so start from the womb. Starting from the womb, now that you know, do it consciously. Teach your child language from the womb, right? Somebody may ask, which language are you talking about? So today I'm going to talk mainly on English, but I will emphasize on our cultural languages, right? So for me, my mother tongue is Siswati, right? But then I use English 99% of the time. So even with my kids, I use English because it's the language I use. So their mother tongue, I think, is English. I don't know. But this thing, I feel like it's extremely personal. It's up to the parent. It's a personal choice what you do with your children. Some people may be like, you know what, let me ground them first. Teach them my native language. In me, maybe Siswati, right? Teach them that. And once they are anchored, they are rooted, then maybe I can then transform them into other languages, right? Somebody may say that. And somebody may say that, Namtali, you as a parent, practice your native language so that your children. No. I feel like just whatever your higher self is channeling you towards, or whatever you feel is right for you and your children, just go for it. Never listen. It's one of those things whereby I always say, never listen to anybody, never take somebody's word for it, right? It's your choice, it's your path, it's your life. Stick to your lane, right? Don't take advice from anybody. So let's start with English. I will build a foundation on English mainly. I know with some people, especially the awakened community, they feel like English is just a three-dimensional realm language. It's a low-frequency language, right? All of those things. That's what they believe, and I don't judge them. I'm not against that. I'm not saying it's wrong or right. I'm just saying that it's what they believe, and I respect that. However, to me, English has been one of these languages that made me understand myself better. Story for another day. But then for me, speaking Siswati was okay. I was surviving in a society whereby people were speaking Siswati. I was just able to interact, but I didn't understand what I was saying. I know it won't make sense right now, but I couldn't hear myself processing my thoughts. It doesn't make sense, but maybe one day you will understand what I'm saying. So after I started learning English, I could comprehend most things better, right? So that's when I took up English, okay, as my personal first language. Because every time I thought in English, it made more sense to me than when I was thinking in Siswati. It doesn't make sense. I know. I know. Hell, I can't even explain it. Hi, Prophet Team. Hi, Majesty. Welcome. I can't even explain it myself. So that's why I'm saying that if you don't understand what I'm saying and you feel like I'm crazy, it's fine, because wow, right? So yes, it's up to you how you do this thing, whatever way you feel. Hi, Lanaftal. How are you, baby girl? Welcome, baby. Welcome. So it's up to you. Somebody else may say that, oh, for me, it's Afrikaans. Oh, ever since I started feeling Afrikaans, when I sound the words, I can feel the vibrations on my chest going zzz, and then they tativate me, right? So that person maybe is Zulu, so we can never judge them, right? So choose whatever speaks to your essence, whatever speaks to you. right? So I'm saying that since this is my live session, and English is the language that speaks to me, I will pretend as if it's the foundational language, then I will drag forth the other languages, our cultural and traditional languages. Okay, so core components of language, of literacy and language development. Number one is the phonemic awareness. Also, another disclaimer, my grandmother was an English lecturer, excellent English lecturer. My mother was an English teacher, excellent English teacher. So I feel like maybe their knowledge was passed down to me, because I feel like I've secondhand absorbed being an English teacher. So one may be like, how do you know these phonics things, these the terms I'll be talking about today? Because people want to see a certificate. Have you learned about phonics? Why do you feel like you, right? So it's something I've been brought up learning informally, let me put it like that, from my grandmom to my mom. And my mom is currently a consultant. She consults schools in line with phonics. So, and also her courses are on my channel. So also, if you're interested in taking your child through phonics, or you want to go through phonics yourself, you will check the link. I WhatsApp the number on your screen, and then I'll send the link to my mom's courses where she's teaching these things I'll be talking about today, right? For me, I'll just be summarizing them, because we're not taking that lesson right now. We're just focusing on literacy and language development. So yes, number one is the phonemic awareness. What is the phonemic awareness? Phonemic awareness is recognizing and manipulating sounds in spoken words, right? So it's hearing that, okay, I can hear the sound, and if I change the sound into sounding like this, it will become this other word, right? So that is phonemic awareness. It's understanding sounds in line with the language you are speaking. Okay, so for example, when you can hear that cat and cap are almost the same words, they just differ in one sound, right? So as a child, once a child starts grasping that, just know that they are in the perfect lane towards phonemic awareness. Okay, so the second component is phonics, right? What are phonics? Phonics are the connection of letters to sound and blending them to read a word, right? When you sound a letter, you sound a vowel, and then you combine them to form a word. We coin that as phonics, phonetics, right? So another component is vocabulary. I'm still going to explain them, unpack them. Another core component is vocabulary. What is vocabulary? Vocabulary is the building a word knowledge through conversation and reading, right? It's when you know how to converse, how to relay your thoughts, and also how to hear others, and also what to read, how to read what is written. That is vocabulary. Having an inventory of words in your mind, saved in your mind, knowing that, okay, this word means that, this is how I should sound that, right? That is vocabulary. And then there is fluency. Another component is fluency. What is fluency? What is fluency? Fluency is the ability to read smoothly, accurately, and with expression. Okay. And then the last component, according to me, maybe there are more components out there, but the ones I've just summarized for us today are just these these five components. The last component being comprehension. What is comprehension? Comprehension is understanding and interpreting meaning in text or in speech, right? You are comprehending what is being relayed. Okay, so now let's unpack these components. The first way, how to incorporate language and how to incorporate literacy and language development in the everyday. Okay, so the first one, let's unpack phonemic awareness. Okay, so how can you do this? How can you instill this in your children, right? So you can play play sound games. Oh, in every session, I always speak about this, and I will never stop speaking about this. The fact that we are busy. Guys, we are busy. You saw me at the beginning of the session. I was busy screaming and yelling and frustrated, and I was even being shook off my train of thought, right, by the very same kids. So when I'm saying that play in a world of capitalism whereby time is money, I should use my time in playing. I know it is extremely hard. We live in a world of capitalism whereby play is truly a waste of time. Play is already losing money. Once you start talk about playing, you've already lost money. Yet we live in a world whereby money is a god, so we cannot juggle between the two. So you find that most moms, most parents, most caregivers and guardians, they feel like, you know what, let me go out there and make the money, then I will hire somebody to play with my kids. However, I mentioned this in our previous session, that the only person a child will be able to interact with while their nervous system is as calm as possible is their mother. Lona labavundla kuye. The person who carried this child for 9 months shared an umbilical cord, shared everything, nutrients, thoughts, aura, and whatever you call it. They literally shared everything with the mom. And after birth, yes, the physical cord was cut. The umbilical cord was cut, but there is still this cord that is connecting mother and child called the silver cord. That one is never cut, and it makes sure that the mother's aura is always feeding the child's aura until eternity. Not even death does you part. Right? Because of this thing called the silver cord. So imagine if you are the one playing with them, if you are the one instilling these philosophies, instilling these skills into your children. Imagine the power and impact you are going to push forth as compared to hired somebody, hired help, or hired tutor or mentor. You see. So exactly. So yes, I know that when I say play with your children, everybody gets triggered that I don't have time for play. How are we going to survive? Because if I...
Cake.
Okay, go and make cake, baby. Right. Bye. All of these questions play in your mind that no, this is impossible. This is theory. However, it's not theory. According to me, I personally had to quit my 9-to-5 job so that I can personally take care of my kids. And believe me when I say it is not easy. It was never easy, and it's never getting any easier. The more I do it, it gets harder and harder as the years go by, right? And I did not do it because I'm privileged. I did because I started understanding that the world is burning. Children are being born with all these mental and emotional disorders, not because they are ill, but because the person who is sharing the aura with them isn't present. Even if they are present, they are working more than they are with them, right? And adding fuel to the fire, while you are working out there, remember I told you that there is the silver cord connecting mother and child, right? So it means that while you're working out there, it means that your child is also working out there. So the stresses women, especially women with children, the stresses they go through while they're in that corporate job, the child goes through the very same stress, but they don't know what is happening to them. At least you know, yes, I'm going through the stress because I'm doing this challenging client. Yeah, let's put it like that. Maybe I'm having a challenging client, that's why I'm going through this certain stress. However, the child is like, what is wrong with me? Because I'm here, I'm not going through any stress. It's secondhand stress, right? So as ngimbulelega and understanding all of these things, I was like, oh man, you know, let me just try and sacrifice myself for the sake of the next generation. So it wasn't easy, and it wasn't because I was privileged. It's because I'm conducting an experiment, literally. And I kid you not, I've been labeled useless, I've been labeled lazy, I've been labeled a parasite, I've been labeled all of the things you can ever think of. However, because I know the vision, I stuck to it, right? So yes, play with your kids. We were talking about phonemic awareness, that play with your kids, play sound games. For example, ask children to clap to each syllable, right? So whenever you are speaking about syllables, say that, okay, if you hear a syllable, clap, right? So let's take a word and clap on the syllable, right? So what's a syllable? A syllable is two letters, maybe it's a consonant and a vowel, right, combined together to produce a united a united sound, right? For example, let's take banana, right? So ba is a syllable, na is a syllable, na, right? Because it's two letters that produce one sound. So whenever you hear a word, let's take another word. Let's take pipe, right? So it's pipe, banana, right? So it's teaching them this thing at an earlier stage before they even get into formal education, right? And also, or you can just say that identify rhyming words, right? Does cat rhyme with cap? Yes. Does duck rhyme with truck? Yes. Does dog rhyme with pot? Yes. Does duck rhyme with lane? And then if somebody says, yes, they're out, right? Because it doesn't rhyme. But if they say, no, then they win and they move on to the next level. Yes, Yoda. Can I finish this first? Then I'm coming, okay? Tell Gigi to be fast with the baking. Right? So, exactly, like something like invent a game, something like that, right? And as I said, I sometimes do it, maybe once a month, right? But it's not my strong point, right? The language aspect of raising kids is not my strong point. Mostly my kids, they grasp these things during screen time, or sometimes whenever I'm conscious enough to to put my energy into it. So yeah, but you may be shocked, like they're really good, I don't know how, because it's one of the things I'm not truly invested in. I never invest my energy consciously into teaching them these things, but they're good. So whatever is teaching them, thank you, dear entity. Right? So yes. And then yes, that was phonemic awareness. Now let's move on to phonics, right? Remember, phonics is connecting letters and vowels and blending them so that they form a word. Okay, please don't come back. Please, I am working. Can I just be done, please? Because when you're here, you're busy jumping, and now I have to run to catch you. Yet I'm working here. You see.
I can't open.
Bring it here. I'll open it and bring the cups. Right. Yes. Coming to phonics. Guys, today's lesson has been a bit messy, but don't worry, we shall be doing this thing every year. As long as I'm alive, we'll be doing this every year. So yeah, next year maybe it will be better, but we will take it from this lesson. This will be the foundational lesson, okay? But don't worry, if you have questions, also at 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. we have a live group chat whereby we ask questions. Siyavunlisana, siyafunzisana, yabona, like you add whatever you wanted to add, you edit whatever you wanted to edit, you ask, we ask each other, siyakhulisana, supporting each other, right? So there's that. So why are you crying now? Did you chuku the cups? Hello?
Pardon?
Did you chuku the cups? So yes, phonics. So how do we incorporate phonics? Are you taking the cup? So how do we incorporate phonics in teaching our kids? in our everyday lives, right? So what you do is teach letter sound relationships systematically. Okay, so how do you do it systematically? Then here is a way I'd advise, taking it from my grandmom and my mom. Okay, oh yoda fana the rope, good. So what I have seen to make the child be independent, because most of the time kids are cramming, they're cramming words, right? However, I have seen a child, okay baby, I have seen a child reading a word without even knowing it. They've never seen this word before, and it's an extreme hard word, but they read it because they have been taught, they've been given the tools to combine sounds and all of those things, right? And end up reading a certain word, right? So I feel like it's better to give somebody the tools other than to make somebody cram, right? So what I've seen systematically working is, number one, you start with the consonant, vowel, consonant words, right? What is a consonant? A consonant are these letters in the alphabet, right, that force you to breathe out. Right? Those are consonants. So start with those words that go consonant, vowel, consonant, a 3-letter word. Consonant, vowel, consonant, right? So something like b, o, y, right? K, a, t, right? P, o, t, right? So start with those easy words. They are called consonant, vowel. What's a vowel? Vowel are the opposite of consonants. They are these letters that force you to emit air or to pass out air without strain. E, O, U, right? In Siswati it's A, E, I, O. In English it's A, E, O, A, right? Mommy, please don't touch that, babe. Chi, go to kitchen bake. Okay, thank you. Oh, you're boy, very good, mommy. Go to church. It's okay now. It's fine. Where was I? Yes, thanks. 3-letter words. Yes. Okay, that's a vowel, and then you combine it. We combine it with a consonant to come forth with these 3-letter consonant, vowel, consonant words. Those are the best words to start with. After that, then you progress to blends. Right? What are blends? Blends are these words that have letters that come together, but the sound they produce is split. Let me call it like that, right? You can hear that there is a letter and a letter, but they are blended together to form a splitted sound. Let's make an example. Sticks, right? It's ST. ST is st, right? You can hear that there is an S and a T, so it's st, right? So those are blends. Broom, brr, brr, right? You can hear that there are 2 letters, but the sound is combined. However, it is split, right? Those are blends. So then you can take them into blends, and after taking them into blends, then go into digraphs, right? What are digraphs? Yes, your tire. Go and show your tire. Go and show Chichi. Then you go into digraphs. What then are digraphs? Digraphs are 2 letters that come together and produce one sound that is not split. 2 letters, 1 sound though. Like what? CH, ch. You can't hear there is a C. You can't hear there is an H, right? SH, sh. You can't hear there's an S, you can't hear there's an H, because combined they produce 1 sound. Then after digraphs, then you can go into trigraphs, right? And then proceed on and on and on and on. However, what I'm speaking about, you can book a session with my mom. She's a professional. She consults schools in line with this thing. So just go for her, book a session. If you're interested, just WhatsApp the number on your screen and we'll take it from there, okay? So yes, with these things you can use magnetic letters. They are so affordable. They're like $10 per tray, right? So you can use magnetic letters or use flashcards. easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And then now going on into vocabulary, right? To incorporate vocabulary, narrate daily routines, right? For example, I am sweeping right now, okay? So they can see that, oh, this is sweeping, right? They're learning. Oh, I am cleaning right now. I am cooking. I am wearing my clothes, right? And also, I mentioned something here. Oh, yes. Introduce new words in context, whatever you're doing, right? I am wearing clothes right now. This is a jacket, right? So they learn. It helps me get warm. This is a pair of scissors. It helps us cut papers effectively. It's a pair of scissors. There is a difference between, oh, my favorite pair of scissors is not here, but yeah, you understand what I'm saying. There is a difference between, oh, thank you thank you Zamatlubim. But my mom is really good at this, guys. She's really good. I'm just a secondary grab of information, right? So you say that there is a difference between a paper pair of scissors and a fabric pair of scissors. I can't find my fabric pair of scissors. And a fabric pair of scissors. So you see that subconsciously you are instilling a lot of things. Yes, you are instilling vocabulary, and also you are instilling emotions and expression, but also you are instilling knowledge that cannot be maybe learned from a classroom, right? Maybe in class she will never ever gain the information that there can be a difference between a paper pair of scissors and a fabric pair of scissors. Now your child has gotten that information just out of routine, out of everyday chores, right? So yes, and then we go into fluency, right? So how do you incorporate fluency? In fluency, you read aloud together, right? So we always advise story time every night. Try to find a book you can read together. It doesn't matter. Somebody once said to me that we have only one book in the house. It gets monotonous, right? I always say that it's fine. What we are incorporating here is communication. We're trying to incorporate communication, expression, emotional relation, and vocabulary and literacy. Whether the book has been read 1,000 times, but I kid you not when I say that it's building a lot in the child's mind, right? So yes, I know for an adult it's monotonous, but for a child, hey, you may be shocked the amount of work it does into their cognitive span. Right. So yes, read aloud together. If you don't have time, I truly advise that you do the bedtime stories, okay? But if you do have time, then read. Every time, every moment is reading moment. For me, basically, that is what I do. Whenever I'm sitting with my kids and maybe we find a book, we read it. Whenever we go across maybe a user manual, we read it. Whenever we see a box, we read it, right? So I'm that kind of person. However, as I've said, I didn't do this consciously out of helping them cultivate their literacy and language development. I was just doing it because I'm that kind of mom. Most people call it ADHD, right? It's just my archetype. I just love to read. To write and take something and it's just fun. Oh, gummy vibes. Good. Me. Gummy vibes, right? So I wasn't like that until I had a child who truly loves to read, right? I was like that, yes, but now it's it's truly pronounced. It's extremely exaggerated because this girl. So yeah, she's in grade 1 this year, and she's the one pushing my ADHD ness forth, right? So yes, that's what we do in my house, basically. And the other things I fail in. So just because I'm gifted in loving to read everything I come across doesn't mean that I'm really good at this. No, please, there are a lot of things I fail in. There are a lot of things I have to put a lot of energy in so that I can cram them or be able to enforce them into my second nature. So yeah, just because I'm speaking about these things, I'm only speaking about things that I have cultivated or things that I'm good at, right? So yes, I always say that I don't like speaking from theory, because once you speak from theory, the universe then tests you to see that, oh, what this person is talking about, can they handle it, right? So I always speak from experience, something I've already handled. So the universe cannot tempt me, because been there, done that. So please, right? So yes. So I only speak about things I've mastered and things I've experienced and things I'm good at, right? But then I always put forth a disclaimer whenever I'm talking about something I haven't mastered, that, oh, by the way, I'm also in the process of learning this. So I'm only, right? So I always say this. Okay. So let's move on to fluency, right? How do we cultivate fluency? We read aloud together, right? It's the same as this vocabulary thing, right? It's more or less the same, right? And also model expression. We are speaking about emotional expression in one of the previous sessions, and in my previous session I was like, verbal communication also incorporates emotional expression. A child will know that when I'm angry, I frown, right? There are some people who don't have facial expressions. I don't know what they're called. They're called something by the physical realm, but I don't know what they're called. But there are people who you just cannot see whether they are angry or sad or happy, or, right? They cannot express their facial expressions because they did not have anybody model it before them, right? So it happens 90% of the time. These people are because they were neglected as children. They were not mirrored. They didn't see anybody expressing their emotions and learning how to express facially their emotions. So that can happen. So fluency, while you're reading together, you can also model expression and let children reread familiar books. See, now it's a plus for that person who said that they have one book and it's getting monotonous. So when you're rereading one book, it's instilling more in the child's psyche, right? So yes. Then the last one is comprehension. How do we instill it? By asking guiding questions. Maybe, for example, you were reading this book and then you ask, why do you think the character did that? Why do you think it did that? And also you turn into a certain books. I love, there are some books, we'll talk about them next year. I'll show them next year. But there are some books at the end that have these prompts, these questions that tend to page 8. Look at so-and-so's face. What do you think this person is going through, right? So it's helping the child comprehend, at the same time understand emotions, at the same time know how to turn pages without tearing a book, at the same time understand numbers, 10 to page 8, right? So yes, it's an all-in-one kind of book. I really love them. And then sometimes the stories just end abruptly, and then you may ask, what do you think happened next, right? Something like that. And there are some of these books that just, they have these questions prompted. You don't even have to crack your skull, right? So now let's hi Prophet Tio, I didn't see you on Facebook. I barely check out Facebook. Okay, so now let's go to what happened. How did we get here, right? How did we get to even having to take our kids to school to learn language? Thank you, Zamatlubi. Thank you, Your Majesty. Mwah. Thank you for the rose, right? So phonics and home literacy were sidelined when formal schooling emphasized rote memorization. What is rote memorization? Rote memorization is cramming. As I spoke about this at the beginning of the video, that maybe you see a word like girl, for example, you force the child to cram that this word is girl by instilling it over and over again. Look at the word, write down the word, spelling time, right? So that is rote learning. It's not phonetic learning. Phonetic learning is when the child just sees a new word altogether, but they're able to read it because they can combine the letter and the sound. Thank you, baby. Welcome, Zamatlubi. Welcome, Your Majesty, to our fan club. Right, so that's what phonetic learning is as compared to rote memorization. Okay, so phonetics phonetics and home literacy were sidelined. They were shifted aside when formal schooling came into play. And formal schooling, most of them are emphasizing in rote memorization and survival skills. Parents were told literacy was a teacher's job, while home routines were dismissed as ordinary. However, you and I now know that home routines are not just ordinary. Even last week we spoke about this. Right now we even emphasized it, that even while you are sweeping, speak, I am sweeping. It is teaching the child vocabulary and language, right? So whatever you are doing, it is not ordinary. Chores and routines are not ordinary. They are learning curves, right? So whole language approaches. What is whole language? Whole language is guessing words from context, right? It means that you're doing whole language. What is happening in the picture? Narrate what you're seeing in the picture, right? So whole language is guessing the context from visualized images, right? From visualization or from context. Okay, so whole language it further weakened phonics and literacy instruction. As a result, many children entered school without strong decoding skills. Our children now, they go to school, then that's when they can actually begin to speak and understand language and communication and all that. They have to wait until they get to school. However, back in the day, they were learning that at home. By the time they get to school, they're master decoders. They're just implementing what they learned at home, right? So leading to reading and learning struggles, right? So everything now is vested on the teacher, is vested on the formal schooling system. Today, structured literacy and phonics are being reclaimed as essential foundations, which is good. That's why my mom is here, okay? And that's why I'm going to be here. So because the more I listen to her teach, I also absorb more. So I feel like, yeah, very soon I'll be the one taking you through these phonetics classes, right? So yes, let's get to our myths and then be done with today's session. Are we done? Yes, we are done with today's session. Let me put this on the ground because it's... Yes, let's pass some myths, shall we? Okay, myth number 1 says that children will just pick up reading naturally. No, that's far from the truth. Reading requires explicit instructions in phonics and language, right? Children cannot just pick it up. They need a guide, they need a mentor, right? I've never seen anybody reading just by reading. Even those who are self-taught readers, they heard the person speaking and read from the subtitles, right? So you need to be handheld. So no, children will not pick up reading naturally. They need to be mentored. And then the second myth says whole language guessing is enough. It is essential, but it's not enough, right? All of these aspects, which is rote memorization, whole language, phonetics, experimenting, right? They are essential, but each on their own cannot be enough. They need to be used together, because you cannot instill phonics into a child without bringing forth rote memorization. The child has to read the word by themselves, but then be able to put it into their archives. And for them to put it into their brain archive, they need to memorize it, right? And for them to memorize it and use it in a context, they have to see it happening by reading it or seeing it in a picture and describe that picture. And that is whole language, right? So you need all of these elements, but you don't need them in isolation. They have to be brought together. So no, whole language guessing is not enough. It's essential, yes, but it's not enough. So systematic phonics builds decoding skills more reliably. So you should be systematic. Bring forth phonetics, but know which one goes first or which one starts off, right? So it's sounds, understanding the alphabet, understanding the sounds and the vowels and all that, then phonetics, right? Then right? So you should understand the systematic way, understand how which one comes first. You cannot first go with rote memorization. But then, as I've said, there is nothing like you cannot or never do this. As I've said, never take advice from somebody. Right? So I have seen a teacher teaching children rote memorization before phonetics, and it worked beautifully, right? So I feel like just understand your child first, understand their inquisitiveness, their processing skill or processing fire, whatever you choose to call it, then know which one should come first. However, have all of them clicking and interlinking. Don't use them as don't use them as individuals or in isolation. But hey, do you boo? I'm just here to give you a template. Whatever I'm saying is not cast in stone. It's just a template. Edit it your own way or discard it altogether. Up to you, Your Majesty. Right? So yes, the last myth is literacy teaching is only for schools. False. Very much far from the truth. As I've said, that parents are the first and most powerful educators, meaning that a child should only go to school to practice what was taught at home. Children shouldn't be going to school to learn. No, they should go to school to implement what is practiced at home, what they learned from home, right? But then, here, that's it for today. Let us summarize the hell out of today's session, right? Let's summarize the hell out of this session, baby. Oh, by the way, advert time. If you missed out this live session and you truly want to watch it from start to finish, or you just want to start over from the first ever week, from week 1, link in my profile, YouTube link. They're saved on YouTube, but it's just a whole podcast. Just go there and listen to it from week 1 up until week 13. So yeah, the earrings also are made by myself. If you want to buy yourself a pair or 2 or more, or you want to buy in bulk so that you can resell them, or you want to learn how to make them, contact the number on your screen. Just WhatsApp the number on your screen, and then we'll take it from there. I deliver worldwide. Wherever you are in the world, I deliver these. And also there's a book. I write books. I have like more than 10 books published now. So if you want to be mentored by these books, WhatsApp the number on your screen also, and we'll take it from there. Okay, I'm having a puzzle. Okay, let's do the puzzle. What? I just failed it. Let me redo it again. Okay, there we go. Okay, right. So where was I? Oh yes, also at 7 p.m. every Friday we have a phone call as moms, whereby it's just no expectation, noise, stress, children on your head, coffee stains on your pajamas, hectic day. We just come as moms, no masks, no makeup, no expectations. We just go there and we hold each other, give each other ear, educate each other in line with today's topic, right? So if you're interested, WhatsApp the number on your screen and join us on that virtual call on WhatsApp, right? So yes, let's summarize the hell out of this thing, right? So today we were on week 30 and talking literacy and language development. Our session theme summary reads, this week focuses on nurturing your child's communication skills from bubbles to books. Language development is rooted in connection, talking, reading, singing, and storytelling. Every word exchanged is a seed planted in the garden of literacy. And our excerpt, which is taken from our book called Born into Change, is taken from chapter Childhood and Identity Formation. It reads, the deepest form of identity strength isn't rigidity, it's clarity. A child rooted in self-awareness can change, evolve, and grow without losing their essence. That awareness becomes their compass in systems that ask them to shift, shrink, or comply. Wow. The gist of this whole thing is the voice of the caregiver becomes the rhythm of the child's inner world. Ooh, what is our code for today? Our code reads, speak often, read daily. You are not teaching words, you are shaping worlds. Ooh! That was fire. Anyway, that was it for today. If you're interested in joining us in these sessions, just join us every Friday, 1 p.m. South African Standard Time. But I'm starting to like the 3 p.m. You guys are joining when I'm on 3 p.m. But I don't know. We shall see. However, every Friday, just tune in. Make sure that you always check if we're live. But we're live every Friday. I may shift to 3 p.m. because you guys tune in 3 p.m. Maybe it was just beginner's luck. I don't know. So we shall see. But then every Friday, 1 p.m. South African Standard Time, we are live talking about these things. And yeah, if you're interested in joining our virtual session, we shall have a phone call, the virtual phone call. We have virtual phone call every Friday, 7 p.m. South African Standard Time. It's reserved mainly for mothers. But then if you are a parent, you're welcome, or you just want to learn more about today's session, you can come, because it's a space whereby we hold each other as parents and speak more about today's session. Have a Q&A, have an elaborate session, talk about these things, fix whatever, right? So yeah, just join us today whenever you're interested. And also, if you want to understand what we shall be speaking about in the next coming weeks, I post a lineup on my stories on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and WhatsApp. So constantly check my stories. Anyways, from me to you guys, see you next week Friday. Bye.